So, hey everyone, today we are in for a treat here. Do you know about the most luxurious palace on the wheels, which is the India's most luxury train? You may have heard about that, but do you know who was the mastermind behind that? So, my name is Goyaam Jain, your host, the founder of the Unknown Company, and today we have someone with over 35 years of experience and the mastermind behind the most luxurious train in India. Let me introduce and welcome you to a very special guest, Mrs. Payal Kapoor. From starting
Thank
her
you.
from starting her career in the late 80s to launching her own company Visions in the 90s, she has seen it all. But you know what is one thing I just love about her is not her experience to be true, but the way she blends the classic with the contemporary. Just like she restored the Umaid Bhawan Palace in Jodhpur and designing the interiors of Sambhar Express. Her work is incredible. And obviously, we cannot forget about the awards. She has been featured in the Barron's Greatest Interior Designers of the World. She has won the Best Mentor Award, the Adex International Design Award. And to be true, the list is so long, I cannot just come here with it. So, for all you young architects and interior designers out there, if you are looking for inspiration, guidance, and some internal discussions of the industry, you are at the right place. So, let's dive into the conversation with one and only Mrs. Payal Kapoor. So, thank you, Payalji, for accepting the invite and being with us here.
Thank you so much for having me there. Yeah.
So, Payalji, let's start with your journey first. How did this passion of architecture came, and how did you come
So,
into developing so many great projects?
I come from a service background, and we don't really have anybody in business in my family.
Mm-hmm.
So, what had happened was, in my times, the choices that the children have today, there were very few choices which we had. Either you do your graduation and then post graduation, you kind of do an MBA or you launch out into some kind of an advertising. If you're in the arts, tourism, hotel management, etc. Uh, Textile designing, commercial designing, or fashion designing. Those were the courses which were just kind of evolving. So what happened was I was very clear because my sister had already kind of been there, done that, and I would see them. I said, they're struggling. They're doing their graduation and post graduation again, then MBA. Then they do they do some kind of a course, and then they kind of get down to going to work. So that means a good taken away. Why can't I do something wherein I finish and I get a job? So I decided to do. The choices were very few. We had fashion designing, commercial design, textile design, and interior design. Interior architecture was not a course which was very, either we had architecture or we had interior designing. So then there was a diploma course, there was a degree course. So I decided to do a BFA, which is Bachelor's in Fine Arts in Interiors. So it was a 3-year course and then 1 year in interior design. So I did that. I did my 3 years and then I did my specialization, wherein I specialized in commercial and hotel design essentially. Because houses is there, but it's an integral part. But I wanted to specialize and see what actually happens in the hospitality. How do you get there? So I did that, and then after after 4 years, I was handpicked by a company which was essentially doing, which was the pioneer, and they were essentially doing most of the Oberoi hotels and luxury properties, etc. So those days, I'm talking about in mid 80s. We really did not have interior design as like really a wow thing because not too many people could afford it, and there was this price tag kind of an issue with interior design that they are very expensive. It's only in the 90s that things evolved, that even DDA flats and MID flats, everybody started seeking out and reaching out to interior designers to saying that, okay, we need professional help. We can't really do it because things are very different.
Right, true.
In 87, I graduated and I worked for a company. And therein, of course, when I worked for a company, I worked for 2 years. Those 2 years was just the stepping stone for me, because all that I had learned in college was when I worked for the company, I realized that I'm good at nothing except drafting. So there is so much to learn. We come out with very high hopes that we know this, we know that. Essentially, I mean, my time we didn't even have computers, so no sketch. It was all with rotring pens and pencils, with T squares, set squares. And I still remember when we didn't get it right, our bosses would just come and put a big scratch on the drawing to say, "Isko dobara karo." So, it was such a nightmare. I mean, you really felt you're good for nothing. Your self-esteem is absolutely at the lowest. Your confidence levels are zilch because you came thinking, oh, I'm catch whiskers, I'm prima donna,
Hmm.
I've learned so much, 3.5, 4 years, and there is this person who walks in, and the seniors look at you with a sniggering look that, look, what have you done? You don't even know the basics. So that was something that, that 2 years that I worked for the company made me realize
Hmm.
that there's so much to learn. The sky is so wide, the spectrum is so wide. I've got so many miles to go. And that's how then, the interest started uh, building up. And then the assignments started coming in. Of course, first 6, 7 months was a big struggle because I was just kind of, it was like I said, it was very below a person's self-esteem to say, no, this is not right. Haven't you done that? Didn't they teach you this in college? So well, somebody was there to handhold you and kind of get you there. And then slowly along the lines, you kind of pick up the tabs. You're pushed in the sea because in a small segment office, what happens, the responsibilities on you are immense. You're part of one of the integral part of the organization. Yeah, you are one of the battalion members of the army troop, where the leader is leading. So you also have a very important role to play. And
Right.
having said that, when the responsibilities are thrust on you, you get there. I feel, and
Hmm.
especially, and then how slowly, steadily the passion built up. And then I realized that this company was only doing consultancy work, only doing
Hmm.
drawings, but my concepts on paper became very strong. And how to get there from zero to finish.
Hmm.
But know-how, my understanding of how things are implemented at site, how executions are done. So that's how then I
Hmm.
kind of left the company. Sorry, sorry. I left the company and I decided to kind of, join a company wherein I would learn what happens on site. And having gathered the requisite knowledge,
Hmm.
um, after 3 years of working for other people, I launched out on my own in 9. Thereafter, it's history now. So it's like whatever's happening is happening. So God's been
Right.
kind. Yeah.
Just like you said now that our bosses used to scold us a lot, we used to lose our self-esteem.
Yes, yes.
I
Terrible,
believe
terrible.
we always tell this for our parents also, that our parents don't listen to us, they keep us on school and small things. But I believe these are the things that actually make us very strong, and these are the
Yes, they
things which
do.
make our foundations very strong.
Oh yes, of course. I tell my children that. I know you must be feeling awful when they say, oh, but we've got a battery of staff to do it. I said, no, but you were supposed to do it. You have to take responsibility and keep your room clean. Why should they
Right.
come in and do it for you? Sometimes they can, but not always. Show that you're also, I mean, you people have dreams of going overseas. There, you've got to do everything yourself.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
anyway, why should you not take pride in keeping your room clean, keeping your cupboard sorted, being a meticulous person, very diligent and very kind of, you should know where your things are kept. Because when I walk in, I should not get this feeling of clutter. So that is
Right.
very important. And I
Right.
guess history repeats itself because our parents used to say the same to me and my siblings. And at that time, we used to say, "Gosh, these guys have nothing to do except crib all the time." And I think we are doing the same. Maybe in lesser doses, but we are doing it.
Yeah.
So I
We all
totally
follow
empathize.
that. We
Yeah,
take
yeah.
revenge from our children.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's okay. You have to give back also, no, for what's
Right.
happened to you.
True. True. True.
So, yeah.
So talking about the strong foundations, I believe our careers also need a
Yeah, I
very
lost
strong
you there.
foundation.
Yeah.
Hello, am I audible now? Great.
Yeah.
So when we
Yeah,
are
yeah, I
talking
bet you.
about the foundations, I believe our careers are also based on our foundations that we make in first 3 4 years. So, according to
Right.
you, what should the first 3 4 years in an architect's or interior designer's life should look like, so they have very strong foundation for the next 40 years to come in?
I've always believed, I'll give you my own example, which I always tell my staff. When I started working, the professional used to pay me that used to barely cover my changing two buses from where I would stay to go there, walk at least a kilometer and a half to kind of go and open my office. And I used to be the first to report to the office because our timings in summer used to be 8:30, and in winters it used to be like 9. So it was and would get over accordingly. Um, I mean, everybody from my batch used to snigger at me because their salaries were 5 times my salary.
Oh.
But look at them today; they're nowhere. To the fact that it was not the money that was important for me, it was the learning. And what the platform that office gave me has stood me in good stead till date. My foundation, my drawings, my ethos, my ethics of working, even my knowledge of detailing of drawings, all I learned was from that office. Despite the fact that I was told to repeat a drawing six times, whatever in the initial thing, because it was difficult for me to understand taught in college. And here I was dealing with all very, very senior people, very highly skilled, and people with 10 years of background behind them, and I was a novice totally. So to understand, so I always feel that as a young student, money should not be a criteria.
True.
What should be important should be we should get a good guru to learn, a good platform to learn. Very important, where you're like a sponge. The water is lying, you're going to be dipped in the water. If you're going to initially only look, how much money am I going to get? I'm very clear, I don't paint them because for the simple reason I'm teaching you. I'm taking out an important, my time, my office is taking out time and trying to teach you people. Don't you pay a college to teach you? Or does the college pay you to teach? You are, in fact, one level above the college now. What we are teaching you, your college also can't teach you.
Exactly.
So,
the college still teaches you the theory parts. I am getting you into the real projects that are working in.
That I'm giving you a platform. Yeah. The very fact that I'm giving you a platform, you should be thankful and try and learn up whatever you can in the 4 to 6 months of internship that you come to me for. So one is that, and secondly, you need to be open to learning, because what I find in children today, they think, see, firstly, the life today is copy paste. Google is there, Wikipedia, Pinterest, Housey, Homify. There's so many of them. Now this is what I'm going to do, and they think SketchUp or a 3D perspective is end all be all. Believe you me, we throw those 3Ds in the dustbin because you cannot work with the 3Ds. We have to work with working details, working drawings, RCPs, electricals, MEPs, plumbing, structural details. Those are important. And those details you can only learn from an office, which is a good office. And I always tell students that, choose an office which is either a small office or a mid-segment office before you actually. In a small office, you are an important person. You're contributing. In a big office, you're one of the many. So maybe they're just using you as a draftsman, to do the spade work. Where are you going to learn? What is very important is that you learn. So, so my perspective and my, guidance or my advice to students would be that try and learn. It's very important. First 3 years, you should just close your eyes and say, no, I want to learn from XYZ professional, whoever you choose your guru or your mentor, learn under that person. And only when you think, yes, you're ready, then you can. It's always nice to fire the gun from somebody else's shoulder first few years, because market today is so huge and wide. There's so much competition, though there's work for everybody, but it's a niche market. Like today, I refuse the small work because by God's grace, I can afford to do it. But there are lots of people who can't afford to do it. because they feel, okay, no, whatever's coming our way, we have to, because that's how you gather experience, that's how you gather credentials, or you gather a good word.
Right, right.
It's okay to have Instagram, Facebook, blah, blah, all of that. But at the end of the day, it's your work which will get you work. It's the good work that will get you work. It's a good word put in that will get you for the projects.
That's very true. The how you handle the delivery of the project that you have committed is the real
True.
factor behind that.
Right.
So talking about the competition and
Yeah.
the way market has changed, I have seen many. I talk to normally many architects and interior designers being in the field. I am not
Yeah.
an architect. I'm a business guy, right? But I always talk to many. They always complain about that the competition is huge. People are not ready to pay us a premium price. We are just giving such a premium service, such a premium design, but they don't value our work. So, and I believe you must have also faced this in your initial days. Now you are in a situation
Initial
that you can
days,
do that.
it's a mindset even now in India, unfortunately, that they don't want to pay professionals, and they feel कि क्या किया है, एक drawing ही तो बनाई है. So,
Right.
I mean, they don't understand that that drawing is actually the backbone of your project. How you're going to, at the end of the day, you have to prove yourself and make them value your services. See, it works both ways. I don't really blame the clients always, because there are lots of professionals also who misuse. They try and get the work by undercoating, undercutting. They know a person is bidding for it. Achha, okay, the person is charging X amount, I'll charge X minus so and so. And lure the client. Now that is not ethical, firstly, because that person is charging the price because the person is good. He or she can command that. That's right. When you get there, you this thing. But then what happens is, like I said, it's a mindset. In India, unfortunately, it is a mindset. But there is work for everybody, and your good work will then only make you kind of work spins work at the end of the day. So if a client you've done good work for, he recommends very highly, then the other person is okay, this is the quantum of work this person has done, and this person has done a good job. So, yes, the trust is built up that this person will not cheat. Person, comes across as a professional, is honest, is not working on commissions, is clean, is going to be helping the client in absolutely the right, the right way, the ethical way, is also going to deliver the project on time. Time deliverables are very important. Client doesn't have to run behind you for drawings. Okay, please issue the drawings. Happy office se drawing nahi aayi. No, it should be smooth flowing for the client, I feel.
True.
If he's paid you, then becoming a headache for him. Why should he be following up? So it works both ways, actually. So the reason why you command your respect is because you're making the client's life easy. There are lots of professionals who don't do it. So that's how, the market is kind of what it is as of now. And there are lots of clients who are very wary of paying people the consultancy amount. So that is what it is.
So actually, I'm very curious to know about your first client. How did you get that? When you started Visions in the 90s, how did you actually get a first client?
So what happened was, one fine day I decided enough is enough. I'm not going to work for these people, because the amount of work, 18 hours I'm putting in for them and getting an X amount of salary, if I was to put in that much, I would probably pay 5 times more. So I decided to launch out on my own, and with whatever savings I had. So what I did was, I had, those days in Shahpur Jat, it was a small little office. I still remember there were buffaloes tying down, tied below. Did not have a proper bathroom, nothing. But anyway, I took off with two draftsmen, and I used to handle everything. But there was no project. So what had happened was, I'd worked for big projects, but they were projects which I'd worked for an organization. They were not really my independent projects. So every time I would go out looking for work, they would say, oh, but that project has been done by so and so, but you were working in that project. They said, yes, but you were handling under the wings of somebody else. It was not your solo project, right? So it was becoming difficult. So I was open to taking on small projects. Then what happened was, like I said, I did not come from a business background. Uh, by word of mouth, I managed to get one small project, somebody's house. And that house, of course, I could give 100%. And then from there, they were very happy with the services. Two more, then another one, and then another one. And then
Hmm.
because like I said, my happy doing homes, because
Hmm.
homes is a very niche and very small place to kind of this thing. The creativity is not, the huge spectrum is not there. It's not a commercial venture where people are coming to
Hmm.
visit your project, people are being able to relate, stuff like that. So
Hmm.
what happened was, then I went to, then the Imperial Hotel at Janpat was getting, they were starting a new wing, the H
Hmm.
wing. So I approached the project, and I approached the owner that time, Mr. Jasdev Singh. He's no more, God bless his soul. Um, and so I said, well, I mean, if you see my credentials, I've done enough work for hotels and luxury
Hmm.
properties, not just 2-star or 3-star.
Hmm.
And here I think I'm ready. I have enough knowledge, and I have enough, in my head to know how you kind of go about it. And I think you will also need somebody who can give you time. And
Hmm.
as a young professional, I have a lot of time, and I will be
Right.
totally give you my 100%. And that's how I got my first staff as
Hmm.
the Imperial Hotel. I did the 60 rooms. And after, of course, Umaid Bhawan
Hmm.
Palace called me, because I'd already done Umaid Bhawan. I put in 4 years. I knew how the family, was working, and I kind of knew everything about 166 rooms that were there in Umaid Bhawan Palace, which room furniture was lying where, because earlier it was a home. It was
Right.
it was a royal family's home,
Hmm.
which we converted into a hotel in '87. We handed it over to ITC, and thereafter they called me back in '92 till 2005. I was 2004. Sorry, I was involved with Umaid Bhavan for any and every renovation that was going on over there. And then interim, of course, then Palace on Wheels happened, GD Goenka School, GD Goenka World School, a couple of buildings for the President of India, for the Prime Minister of India, a couple of other trains that I made for the Indian government
Right.
on consultancy basis, luxury homes,
Hmm.
stuff like that. So a lot was happening, and then kind of, you know, I mean, there have been ups and downs. There have been times, there have been moments where the work is low, and then there are times when there is, considerable amount of work and pressure. So this happens in every business, not just our
True.
business. There are
True.
these ups and downs which happen. You should be able to know how to control your financials,
Hmm.
put your office together, save enough for the rainy day. It's all about managing your business, I feel, at the end of the day.
Right, that's very true. When I was going through your profile, for this interview, and I was developing an intro for you, I was so overwhelmed seeing so many projects you have done, so many big projects. I was like, which one should I take for the introduction? I was so, like, I was so inspired to be
Thank you
true.
so soon.
That's so amazing.
Thank you so much.
So Payalji, I believe you have more than like 35 years of experience in the field now, and you have
37th year now.
37.
37th year
Okay,
now.
that's great. That's great. So in last 37 years, you have seen a time when there were no computers, there was no digital marketing and stuff, and there
Yeah.
was no 3D also at that time or anything. Everything was done on
Right.
paper. And now the time has come where everything is on software. The things
Right.
have become more easier. You can easily go on digital media on Facebook, LinkedIn, and all. So how do you think the market has actually changed?
See, yes, the younger generation is playing a lot on social media. They do get a lot of work on social media. But my thing is, I'm not good with social media. I'm terrible.
Hmm.
And my office handles whatever they handle. And I tell them, Acha, okay, they say, ma'am, can we upload it? I said, upload it, do what you feel like doing. But at the end of the day, I'll tell you, like I said, awards, certificates, all those things are just validation to your work.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, what matters is, uh, how much have you been able to deliver, how well you've been able to deliver, and how happy is the client. That is very
Right.
important. By putting in, beautiful perspectives, beautiful 3D drawings, and
Hmm.
whatever, I mean, doing the work, labor is working, all that is fine. But you should always put up work which is actually finished.
Hmm.
Actually, more than the award, the credits or the the validation that I get from my clients is more important to me, because I feel uh, that's what they matter. For me, they matter because if I do good work for them, they will recommend me to 10 different people.
Definitely,
And
yes.
they become like family to you, over a period of time, because they also understand that there's a trust that builds up. The
Right.
trust is very important in any job. I mean, I'm not just saying in my is concerned, when my staff is concerned, we trust each other. I
Right.
trust that my office is going to, do behind my back. They're not going to be doing anything fishy. They're not going to be pitching in for projects themselves, etc. Because this is the trust that we've built up. So I feel ethics is very important in any job, any work, especially in our business. Very, very important. And building a team is very important. You build a team and you build a good team. That is very important.
Just like we get family doctors, the architect
Yeah,
become
yeah.
family architect sort of a thing. Right. But
Told
do you
me you are
think
like a doctor. I said, doctor is the doctor of the house.
exactly the family
Doctor of the
doctors?
building. Yeah, where the
Right.
plumbing is going wrong, where the electrical is going wrong. So you come there and you say, okay, fine, this is what needs to be serviced. So let's look at that. And, we get it rectified.
Right. But do you think that the digital market have become a very immense thing right now because it has bring in more competition for the people, and everyone now
Yes,
must be there on social media?
exactly. Uh, at least if one is fortunate, if one Googles, you suppose you want to find out who is the architect or who's the designer, make your choice. What kind of work this person does. Is he or she approachable? So at least you're just click of a button away. You just press a button and everything comes in front of you, and you can sit in your private area and view the work and then make up your mind. Earlier it used to be
Exactly.
not like that. Earlier it used to be, okay, speak to my friend, okay, that friend's house has been done by this comes with a very good strong kind of a recommendation. So that's how people went or came to us. Now of course it's all by looking at your work. So digital media is important. I'm not saying it's not important, but at the end of the day, when the client comes to you face to face, your personal interaction with the client is very important.
That's very
What you've
important.
done in the past is very important.
Right. Okay, so Payalji, with your experience of 37 years, now for example, engineers like us come and build a time machine, and you can go and talk to like 23-year-old Payal like 30 years back. What suggestions would you like to give her in terms of starting the career basically, so that you are on a much higher
See,
level than you are today?
nothing has really changed. It's just that things have become more easy in a way and more difficult in a way. Easy because you have, like I said, you have the digital marketing, you have everything at the click of the button. You have better materials to play with. You can call vendors. So many fairs which are put up now. You can go out there and you can meet up with people, talk to them. Our times market was very, very limited. We had to go out to shops to figure out, okay, what is new, what can be used. Very, very few exhibitions. So the exposure was much less, much limited. But the good side was, we used to sit down, go to libraries, consult, look up, read up a lot of matter, read up a lot of history. Suppose I was doing a project, let's say in Rajasthan, I would read up what Rajasthan is all about, what Udaipur is all about, what Mewar is all about. Now what happens is, okay, you can just Google and okay, that particular thing will come, and then you just read up a little bit and you try and get there. So that is one. So that is the flip side. So like I said, everything has a pro, everything has a con.
True.
And the good side now is, like I said, the media is there. So your computers are there. You're quicker in your drawings. Whereas, like I said, we used to do everything by hand. So when you do things by hand, what happens is it's slower and stuff like that. So one was that. But our times, I would not say the competition was not there. Today, the competition is much, much more. Definitely much, much more. Look at the amount of colleges that are there today.
Exactly.
You can just make out our times. I think we had only 2 colleges in Delhi. And today, I don't even know how many there are and how many students. We were only a handful of technical board of education where we had a board exam. And
Yes.
now I think there is diploma course, 1 year course, 2 year course, I don't know what all courses that are there. And everybody is
Right.
becoming, in fact, every housewife is an interior designer today. So,
Exactly.
I mean, everybody thinks that they know it best. So, fact is that, like I said, there is a flip side and there is a other side to it also. Now, coming to, my advice to young students or people who've probably been in 1 or 2, 3 years of work and then see, don't be in a hurry firstly because, like I said, unless you've been fortunate enough that your parents or somebody in the family has a springboard for you, has a platform for you, which you can join. Let's say your father is a builder, your uncle is a builder, or a furniture manufacturer, now there are so many verticals, that you can join a furnishing, vertical, or you can do drapes, you can do carpets, linen, which are offshoots of design, really. Or you can join buildings, you can, go into the marble trade, whatever it may be, inlays, etc., etc. Furniture is another very important area where a lot of people kind of venture, product design. We probably had furniture manufacturers, and that was it. Now my advice to students would be that decide what you want to do. Do you want to be an interior architect? Do you want to be a furniture manufacturer? You want to get into the construction civil line? What? I mean, like, see, I kind of do everything. I do right from
Right.
building, architecture, landscape, interiors, fit outs, everything. So we are a one-stop shop. It's taken us a while, right? To even build in a team, it's taken us some time. So, having said all that, uh, firstly, there should be no confusion in the minds of these children what they want to do. Do they have that kind of work? Because, I'll give you a couple of examples. I know a lot of people where they've passed or they've graduated, they've worked for some time, and then a couple of 2, 3 friends decide, oh, no, 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 we know we have enough work. My uncle can get me this, my, so and so can get me this. So let's start this project.
Right. That happens a lot.
They may start coming in, they are not honest with each other. Then there are problems with start. Okay, I put in this much, I put in this much. So there's a lot of ethics also which kind of go a long way where work is concerned. So I personally feel that you have to be very crystal clear where you want to be. Ask yourself where you want to be and how you want to be there. So there has to be focus, there has to be a certain planning, and with that planning you need to keep those 3 things intact: your ultimate aim, your focus, your hard work, and your honesty. With all these things you'll eventually get there, where you want to be. And I think that is very important. There will be hard ups, there will be ups and downs, there will be some very, very sad situations where people will probably not pay you for your
Right.
hard work. There will be heartburn, but you have to know how to kind of work around that maze. Those are things you're working in. Learn the tricks of the trade from them. How to get there, and how to ensure that your payments are not, you don't get bad debts.
Right. And you always have to keep going. In business, ups and
Yeah,
downs
yeah,
will
yeah.
always keep on coming. You just have to ignore them
That's
and
in any
keep going.
business.
Right. That's what we do not expect. And when we start a business, we expect that, okay, it's
Right.
very smooth road and we'll just get one project, then another, then another. But it doesn't work
That's
like
true.
that. There are months we do not have a project, and there are months you have 3 projects at once. That happens a lot in this field.
Yeah, yeah, sure. No, I agree.
Right. So I believe the suggestions we have given now in the last, I believe this is not only for the architect students. I believe this is for everyone who is starting out his own business. Right. That you have to be
Definitely.
disciplined and things will come and go. That was some great suggestions. And to be true, I have learned a lot from you today.
Thank
And
you.
I really, I am running a business, and I also see that many times I am in a very such a low phase, and suddenly the next day I'm in a very good phase. A client comes, something happens. That always keeps on
Yeah.
happening.
Such
Right.
is life, no? That is life. I mean, that is what life is all about. It's a full circle. Not all days are going to be the same.
Exactly. So that's the real benefit of having a mentor with you. That the mentor will actually guide you in the right direction and keep you motivated to go more and more further.
True.
Right. So I would love to thank you, Payalji, for getting
You're most
such a
welcome.
precious time to come on this platform and
No, no,
talking to the
no.
young architects. And to all the young architects and interior
That's
designers,
my small way of giving to the industry.
and
Sorry.
not a small way. I'm very happy when I requested you that if some we have questions from you and we can easily contact you and all, and
Anytime, anytime,
you
anytime.
simply
I think
give me.
that's what the industry is all about. Anybody who's been there, done that. And I feel that's my small way of giving back to the industry. I'm always very happy to talk to college students, to share my experiences, their dilemmas,
That's very humble of you. Many
whether
professionals are
they're
not
doing the
ready to
right
do
thing or
that.
not. No, no, it's okay. I think why not? You have to be comfortable in your skin to be able to do it. If you're
Right.
comfortable, see, knowledge is always doubled when shared,
Hmm.
right? Why should you stick on? I mean, Saraswati जितना ज़्यादा आएंगी उतना ज़्यादा बढ़ेंगी भी, right? लक्ष्मी जी
That's very
चंचल
true.
हैं, आज इधर हैं तो कल उधर हैं, पर
That's very
सरस्वती
true.
स्थिर है,
That's very true.
आती हैं तो उधर ही रहती हैं, तो उनको तो शेयर करना बड़ा important है.
The more you share, the more you get. That's
Yeah, that's
always
true.
works like that. So for all architects and interior designers who are watching this podcast, you can just comment down in this video, and I will connect with Payal ji to answer all your questions. She has agreed to this on my special request. Okay, and that's I'm very happy because she's so humble behind that. Many architects, when they get into this phase of like this high experience, they just get very rude or something. Happens. I've seen some, but thank you very much, Payalji, for your
I think most
precious time.
welcome.
Yeah.
No, 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 most welcome. If anyone wants to ask anything, they're most welcome.